Hello. What was that? Hello everybody, my name is Catherine Greenwood and this is my senior studio, so hello. So, very quick update before we get into the meat of the video. What happened to the videos that were supposed to be out this summer? Well, I got depressed. That's pretty much it. I was depressed, I didn't read anything, I didn't write anything, and the only thing I painted I'm still working on, so like, what videos would there to be to make? And I didn't ever leave my apartment, so I couldn't even do a vlog. So, anyway, this video is going to be the start of basically what this semester's videos are going to be about. If we continue making videos, I hope I continue making videos. I want to because I would like to film the process of me doing this, but we will see because I have a tendency to say I'm going to do something and then just don't do it because I either get overwhelmed or I just forget. One of the two. Anyway, today's video is going to be about actually my supplies that I use for my artwork before we get into the actual arty things that I do. So, let's get into that. Okay, so these are my supplies that I use. So let's go through them, shall we? First is the paintbrushes. I pretty much use whatever paintbrushes I can. This one is a Master's Touch round brush. I use this one quite a bit actually for larger rounded areas for the most part. This brush I barely use. This one is just a random one you can get from Walmart. Really not that great. I barely use this one. This one I use for this stuff, which is masking fluid. And I will get back to you with what this does and how this is still malleable in a second. Then I have these two brushes. Oop, which are the Princeton brushes. They're both a flat brush. This one is the number 4 and this one is the number 10. I actually really like these brushes, but they get messed up super easily. This is also a Princeton. I really like the Princeton brand. I don't know if you can tell, but I really love this angle brush. This is great for making really nice, thin, straight lines. Very good for that. This one is a Winsor Newton Galleria round, number 0. This one I use the most out of all of my brushes. I actually use this tiny one the most. But these are all of my really tiny detail brushes. And these are also Master Touch. This one is an angular 0. This one is a shader and a 10/0. I don't know how, like what you would actually call that. And then this one is a round and this one is a 20/0. And then this one has the smallest nib out of all of my brushes. And this is for like the really tiny details that I just cannot get into the corners of with anything else. So rarely use this brush, but when I do, it is very handy. Then, of course, we have this, which this is a fluid. It's called masking fluid. What you do is you cover a piece of the paper that you don't want to get paint on with this. You can technically put it on paper that's already gotten paint on it, but it's more precarious, and this in general is precarious. If you put too much of it on, it will rip the paper. If you don't put enough on, it won't come up. So you have to be very careful with this. And with this, I use this brush. Now, masking fluid usually just absolutely ruins brushes, and the way to make it to where it doesn't just destroy your brush so you can keep using it is soap. Yes, soap. What you do is you get the brush wet and you roll it in the soap and then you dip it in this. And then you can dip it in it about 3 times before the soap will wear off. You wash the brush really good in your clean water and then you start over again. This is what I do for large areas that need masking. If I need a small area that needs masking, I'm kind of out of luck, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a nice small brush for that. Another thing for masking that you can use is masking tape. I use this to tape my paintings down to a board. Some people use glass and some people use just stretch the paper out by making it wet first and getting it saturated. I don't like doing that. I just like taping it down, plus it leaves a really nice border. Next we have the Micron. Let's move this. My Microns. Microns are waterproof. You do have to make sure that it is completely dry before you put anything over it. I mean, like, leave it for a couple of hours type of dry, especially with the type of paint that I use. But anyway, I use these. This is a number 2. I have used a number 3 and a number 5 before, but this one makes the nicest lines for the kind of painting that I do. And then we have the actual paint themselves. So these are the 3 brands that I have. I have this one, which is the Aquarelle Extra Fine. I only have 2 colors in this one, and both of them are almost out. But these I got in a estate sale for free because my mom works at them, and they were going to throw these away anyway. And she said that she would take them, so I have Aquarelles. Oh, I picked up 2 of them. I didn't mean to pick up 2 of them. But anyway, I use Aquarelles. I have this Rembrandt, and this is my favorite shade of red, and this is the light oxide red. I love this. It is a perfect little rust color. Absolutely beautiful. And it is Taylor's, I think is what that says. But this is a wonderful, wonderful color. I will show you the swatches whenever I finish this. Anyway, and then this is the one that I use the most, and it is the Winsor Newton series. And these are the student paints. I don't think that these are the professional paints. I think these are student paints. But they work really, really nicely. This is my favorite color, the Prussian blue. I love the gray tones in it. Okay, now on to papers. So I use this Canson Mixed Media this is actually not a really big one. This is the 9x12 size, and I use this for my actual drawing and stuff. And I do like, I don't do really pretty drawings in my sketchbooks. I literally just like sketch and doodle, and I write notes for class and stuff in here. I don't use my sketchbook the way a lot of people do. That's really cute though. I like that one. But anyway, yeah, this is for sketches. This Strathmore watercolor paper in cold press. This is the 9x12. I use these for really small paintings. I don't make small paintings very often. Probably won't be making any this semester unless I'm using it as a, what would that be called? Warm-up painting, I guess. But yeah, these are the 2 that I use that are small. And then this Strathmore, this really big paper in the 18x24, I actually use to make mock-ups with. So let me show you a mock-up. Okay, so this is a mock-up. What I do usually is I decide whatever size the big piece of paper is going to be. I translate that into a much smaller size, and then I will cut out around it, usually giving me a chunk up here to put in the title, and then just enough to give it a small border. And I cut this out, and then I do that with the rest of I just trace it out onto the rest of the pieces if I need more than one mock-up. And that's how I do mock-ups. So this stuff I don't really use for actual painting on. I just use them for mock-ups. So little sketchy things like this. Now then, this paper is the paper that I actually paint on, and I'll be showing you my pieces in a moment. But this is the kind of paper that I actually paint on, and this is Archer's watercolor cold press with the they're not deckled edges, but the rough edges. And this is in 18x22, I believe. So these are pretty big. And it's not quite 18 by 22. I don't remember what this is. 16 by 20? I think this actually might be 16 by 20. Anyway, so that's what I do with these. And these are, so far, has been my favorite watercolor paper that I've tried. This is really nice because it's really smooth, but it doesn't hold the paper or the paint quite as nicely as this one. And this one can be kind of slippery depending on the pigment you use. So those are all my supplies. Now then, this is the kind of stuff I actually make. Let me show you a finished one and the difference between the mock-up and the finished piece. The mock-ups aren't usually a very good representation of what the final piece will look like. It just gives me a map of what kinds of colors and things I'm going to use are. But yeah, no, this is the finished piece. This is the kind of stuff I make. They are illustrations, and I'll be getting to what my actual senior project is later on in the video. And then this is how I set up my actual paints. This is my swatches. This color right here is that light oxide red, and it is a beautiful shade. It also is very creamy, blends wonderfully. It's a fantastic paint. But anyway, I do it like this so that I can easily just kind of reach over and take it off. I don't have to rummage through anything to get it. And then I also make stuff like this. So, woo! So basically, my videos for this semester are all, I've been talking too fast and I'm breathing a lot more. I hope it doesn't mess with the, also it echoes in here. I can't do anything about it. Anyway, these are the kinds of videos that I plan on making on making this semester. They're going to be about my paintings and about my artwork and stuff like that. For the most part, there will be interjections of things about books. Probably nothing on writing because I'm not going to be writing anything that I can really share about. But reading and stuff is still happening. It's not my top priority right now. If you're wondering what I'm reading Atlas Shrugged at the moment by Ayn Rand, and it is very good. But anyway, back to the painting stuff. I am going to be doing some other painting things. I actually kind of, when I was talking about the maybe having a painting going that's for warm-up, I actually thought of maybe doing the 3-color challenge. We will see if that happens. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this video and what I'm going to be doing. But let me tell you really quickly what my senior exhibition actually is. I have a webcomic that I've been trying to make for probably 3 years now, and it's called All Aboard. It is about 2 girls, Jamie and Lily, they're sisters. They wake up on a train that they don't know where it's going, and every train car they go in is an even weirder place than the place they came from before. Sometimes they're creepy, sometimes they're fun, whatever. And it's basically them just trying to figure out where they're going and what they're doing. But I have realized I really, really, really hate digital drawing. I hate it a lot. But I do really love painting and I love writing. So instead of making it into a webcomic, what I have decided to do is turn it into a kid's book. I do this because it's kind of dark, so I would probably be more like middle grade. But what I'm doing for my senior studio is I am making the chapter heads. So that very, very first painting that I showed you, the one with the oval, that's actually going to be the cover, quote unquote, of the entire series. And then the one with them in the train car is the first chapter's chapter illustration. So each chapter will have one of those. Originally there were 12 chapters, and then I whittled it down to 10, and now I'm whittling it back down to 8 because, well, not 8 chapters, but 8 paintings with 6 chapters. Because this summer was not productive and there is no way I'm going to get 10 of them done. 8 is still kind of shooting for the stars, if I'm going to be honest. I'm saying 8 because I don't want to do 7, because 7 just, I hate odd numbers. I know most people really love odd numbers. I am not one of those people. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm doing for this. And Another thing that I will be doing that is going to be writing related is I'm going to have a little snippet of each chapter, and then I'm going to put them, hopefully if I can, into a small little storybook that people can read while they look at the paintings. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm working on one now. I'm almost done with it, the one with the air balloons. I don't know if I think I showed you that one. The one with the hot air balloon ladies. I'm working on that one. I'm almost done with it. I only have like 2 more things to do, and I'm supposed to be doing that right now, if we're being honest. And then I'm going to be drawing the next one, and yeah, I will get back to you when I do that kind of thing. But that's what this semester is going to be about. Everything else has been kind of put on the back burner. I'm graduating this semester. Once I graduate, we'll get into all that later before I ramble on for too long. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing for now. And hopefully I continue to make these videos, because I would like to make art vlogs and kind of film the process and have, you know, just things archived pretty much, my time doing this stuff, because I'm gonna kind of miss being here when I graduate. I'm gonna be moving back home after I graduate, and I'm gonna miss it here, and I would like to have all of this time archived if possible. So that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, that's all for today. If you want more in depth on what my paintings are about, I can do that later. I'm actually probably going to start a new video when this one is done. But yeah.